Thursday's Game 4 played out very differently than Game 3, but in the end the result was the same as the Tampa Bay Lightning evened up the series against the Capitals with a 4-2 win. After dominating both games in Tampa Bay, the Capitals were outplayed in Game 3 and were handed the loss. That was not the case on Thursday. Washington was by far the better team, dominating the Lightning for most of the game. Yet, they still could not get the win. Here's why. An ill-advised pass. You have to be careful with the puck in the defensive zone. Mitchell Kempny was not in the first period. He attempted a blind, backhanded pass up the middle while in his own zone as he tried to get the puck to John Carlson. It never got there. The pass was off target, and Yanni Gourde picked it up. That started a tic-tac-toe play as Gourde passed to Tyler Johnson, who passed to Braden Point for the goal. That goal really stung considering just 70 seconds earlier, Dmitry Orlov had put Washington up 1-0. Special teams. The Caps lost Game 3 by 2 goals after allowing Tampa Bay to score twice on the power play. In Game 4, special teams were again a factor. The Lightning had only 2 power play opportunities on the night. Steven Stamkos scored on the first attempt in the first period to put Tampa Bay up 2-1. The second opportunity came midway through the third period. The Caps technically killed it off, but just 6 seconds after the penalty expired, Alex Killorn scored the game winner. So while the score sheet says the Lightning had 1 power play goal, the power play actually set up 2 of their tallies on the night. Washington, meanwhile, did not score on any of their 4 power plays, including 3 in the first period. Lars Eller. Considering how good Tampa Bay's power play is, the Capitals really needed to stay out of the penalty box. They did for the most part, taking only 2 penalties in 60 minutes. Eller, however, took both. In the past 2 games he has been called for 5 minor penalties. That's far too much considering Washington's penalty kill still has not figured out how to defend against the Lightning's power play unit. Andrei Vasilevskiy. Goalies can turn a series, and Vasilevskiy absolutely has done that. He has been brilliant since the series turned to Washington. He was torched by the Caps in Game 1 and Game 2, but saved 72 of the 76 shots he faced in the past 2 games, both wins, for a save percentage of .947. More Caps news. 3 stars. Bolts even series in a game that was largely dominated by the Washington Capitals. Special teams were a major factor yet again. The Tampa Bay Lightning took advantage of their opportunities in a 4-2 Game 4 win to even up the series at 2 games apiece. Washington was blanked on 4 power play opportunities, including 3 in the first period. The Lightning, meanwhile, had only 2 power plays on the night. They scored on the first, and Alex Killorn scored just 6 seconds after the second opportunity expired late in the third period for the game winner. Here are the 3 stars of the game. 1. Andrei Vasilevskiy. There was a lot of frustration in the building in the first period when the Caps failed to score on 3 straight power play opportunities. They certainly had their chances, but Vasilevskiy completely stoned the Caps. He was his team's best penalty killer by far. Washington got its looks, but Vasilevskiy was there every time as Tampa Bay killed off all 3 first-period penalties and held a 2-1 lead. That first period fueled Vasilevskiy to a big night. Overall, he was brilliant with 36 saves. He held Washington's power play off in the first, he stayed strong during a second period push, and he held the 3-2 lead late in the third. 2. Alex Ovechkin. Ovechkin has made a career out of scoring spectacular goals. In Game 4, however, he really dropped jaws with a beautiful pass to set up a second-period game-tying goal from Evgeny Kuznetsov. Ovechkin jumped on a loose puck in the neutral zone and somehow delivered a backhanded, cross-ice saucer pass over the stick of Yanni Gourde and right to the tape of Kuznetsov. 3. Alex Killorn. Braden Holtby was not tested as often as Vasilevskiy, but he was equally as brilliant. With the game tied about midway through the third period, Holtby stonewalled a Lightning power play. It looked like he had helped the Caps dodge a bullet by killing off the power play, but just as the penalty expired, Ondrej Palat had the puck behind the net and fed Killorn in the slot. In one fluid motion, Killorn moved the puck from forehand to backhand and tucked it through the 5-hole of Holtby for what was ultimately the game-winning goal. As the Caps look to rebound from their Game 3 loss to the Tampa Bay Lightning, their lineup for Game 4 will get a major boost as Nicklas Backstrom will return after missing 4 games with an upper body injury. Backstrom suffered the injury in Game 5 of the second round against the Pittsburgh Penguins. He left the game after taking a shot to the hand area from Justin Schultz. The exact nature and extent of the injury are not known, as the team has only described it as upper body. The injury kept Backstrom out of the series, clinching Game 6 in Pittsburgh and out of all 3 games against Tampa Bay. Game 4 will mark his first ever Eastern Conference Final appearance, and it could not have come at a better time. After taking a commanding 2-0 series lead with 2 wins on the road, the Capitals dropped Game 3. A win in Game 4 will ensure they keep a stranglehold on the series with a 3-1 lead. A loss will tie the series at 2, making it a best-of-3 against a resurgent Lightning team, marking Game 4 as a critical point in the series. In 11 games this postseason, he has recorded 3 goals and 13 points, including the overtime winner in Game 5 of the first round against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Based on warm-ups, however, it looks as if he will not take his customary spot on the second line. Lars Eller, who has played well in Backstrom's stead, will continue to center that line. Backstrom instead moves down to center the third line alongside Chandler Stevenson and Brett Connolly. Stevenson, a natural center, provides the third line with someone who can take face-offs should Backstrom not be ready in that aspect yet. With Backstrom in, here are what the forward lines looked like during pre-game warm-up: Alex Ovechkin, Evgeny Kuznetsov, Tom Wilson, Jakub Vrana, Lars Eller, TJ Oshie, Chandler Stevenson, Nicholas Backstrom, Brett Connolly, Devante Smith-Pelly, Jay Beagle, Andrei Burakovsky. More Capitals stories.